Good evening and welcome to Poland Daily. I'm Natalia Moczulska and this is the news. The following military exercises in Poland unfold over the time of just a few days, between May 17th and May 23rd. First, terrorists hijack a plane, a large civilian airliner with passengers on board. Then this plane crashes, and that's when various search and rescue teams go into action. Because this crash obviously occurs in the most difficult, inaccessible areas, in mountainous northern regions, at the same time aquatic, forested, and urbanized. The last entails actions of a strictly combat nature, that is the so-called elimination, annihilation of hijackers, terrorists. This is the scenario of this year's Renegade Sarex 23 tactical and special exercises.
The Great Service Picnic proved to be a hit with families with children in terms of interest in the event. Dozens or even hundreds of people came here to Kobula Góra to see what kind of equipment Polish officers work with, be it railroad security service, border guard, fire department, police, various rescue units, for example SAR, which deals with rescue when it comes to the Polish coast. We have rescue stations scattered all over the coast. It is not just one station. There are several stations, for example, coastal rescue stations, and there are also stations without coastal rescue stations that just have the rescue ships on standby. We cover the entire coast of the Polish zone. Our students are currently demonstrating instrumental airway protection, known as endotracheal intubation in direct laryngoscopy. This is a simulator showing us a person being evacuated from a fire environment. We are members of the Club of Forensic Science and Criminology. We just came to show sort of a little presentation of what we do in this club. We have fingerprints that are taken, and we are showing them to children. The picnic is aimed at families, but service officers from all over the country have been practicing here for the past 7 days, whether day or night, and practicing various procedures, such as how to respond when we find ourselves in a life-threatening situation. It seems to me that the security we are talking about today has such a unique dimension. In the pyramid of needs, security is always very important to each of us. But when there is a war going on across our eastern border, then we realize that we need this support. And I firmly believe that the government of Prime Minister Mateusz Morawiecki is trying to make sure that, first of all these activities are directed in such a way that they are effective. The Great Service Picnic is coming to an end, but the Renegade Sarex 2023 Night Tracker will continue for one more week so that officers from various entities and units can further hone their skills and, when needed, be able to bring help. From Kobula Góra, Łukasz Żmuda, TV Republika.
The G7 summit has ended, with President Biden holding talks with President Zelensky in Hiroshima, Japan. The topic that dominated all the media was whether the Russians had seized Bakhmut. As Zelensky said, today Bakhmut is only in our hearts. In a Sunday statement, the Ukrainian General Staff reported that the enemy is conducting an offensive in the section of Bakhmut, and the fighting for the city itself has not stopped. At the closing press conference of the summit, Zelensky confirmed Bakhmut is not in Russian hands at the moment. For the time being, the city is definitely not completely under Russian control. We are holding on and fighting thanks to the courage of our soldiers and our strategy.
Thanks for making the trip to Japan and the brave people of Ukraine, led by you and your colleagues here, just a marvel to the rest of the world. I'm sure everywhere you go, you've gotten that response. It's absolutely astounding. And the brutality with which Putin is conducting this full-blown assault is just, I don't think even 3 years ago anybody would have thought it could be anything like this. That's why the United States continues to do all we can to strengthen Ukraine's ability to defend itself, including launching some new joint efforts with our partners to train Ukrainian pilots on the fourth-generation fighter aircraft like the F-16. And this week, the G7 also imposed hundreds of new sanctions and export controls against Russia's assets to ensure that we keep pressure on Putin to hold his backers accountable for this war. These are sanctioning them as well. And today I'm announcing the next tranche of U.S. security assistance to Ukraine, a package that includes more ammunition, artillery, armored vehicles to bolster Ukraine's battlefield abilities. And the United States continues to help Ukraine respond, recover, and rebuild. And we're also supporting your pursuit of a just peace, just one aspect of Ukraine's sovereignty and territorial integrity. It has to be non-negotiable. It has to happen.
Thank you very much, Mr. President. First of all, thank you for your help, leadership, for your support, and really for this new package. That's great. Thank you very much from our people. And I'm so happy that, we have so strong relations.
When asked about the fighting going on in Bakhmut, the Ukrainian president did not confirm the complete seizure of the city by Russian forces.
I think no. But you have to understand that there is nothing. They destroyed everything. There are no buildings. It's a pity, it's tragedy, but for today, Bakhmut is only in our hearts. There is nothing on this place. So, just ground and a lot of dead Russians. But they came to us. So that our defenders in Bakhmut, they did strong work. And of course, we appreciate them for their great job.
This morning, the General Staff of the Armed Forces of Ukraine reported that the fighting for Bakhmut has not stopped. Ukrainian forces have taken the city in a half-encirclement, giving them the ability to effectively hold off attacks by Russian troops. Wagner Group head Yevgeny Prigozhin's claim that his mercenaries have taken Bakhmut is an attempt to divert attention from the overwhelming support Ukraine has received during President Volodymyr Zelensky's foreign visits. The battle for Bakhmut is the longest and bloodiest clash of the ongoing war. Fighting for the city began last August, and according to estimates by Ukrainian and Western analysts, has claimed tens of thousands of casualties.
Deadly flooding in northern Italy has left surviving residents with severely damaged homes and belongings, while response workers faced a lengthy task of cleaning streets filled with debris.
The flood of the century in Italy. 14 people have been confirmed dead, and more than 36,000 are evacuated. 305 mudslides and landslides have been reported. More than 500 roads are closed. Economic losses are estimated at billions of euros. Some areas of the Emilia-Romagna region saw around 50 centimeters of rainfall, making the 6-month rainfall norm fall within a 36-hour period. Due to the proximity to the coast and low terrain, some suburbs of the city were among the most affected parts of the region. Residents in 16% of the city area had been evacuated as of Saturday. The largest number of people, some 27,000, had to leave their homes in the Ravenna area, more than 8,000 in the province of Forlì-Cesena, and 4,000 in the Bologna area. At least one bridge near the city of Bologna collapsed. Some roads were undermined by floodwaters, and many rail services were suspended. A total of about 100 municipalities were affected by the flooding. The situation has not improved. The water level of the main river has risen by 30 centimeters over one day, so we are worried that it may burst its banks. Except for hard-hit areas like Ravenna, cleanup and relief work has already started in other areas where the flood peak has passed. In Faenza, a city further inland in the Emilia-Romagna region, a mess of sludge and debris had filled the roads by Saturday. Residents said when the flood peak hit, the first floors of many houses were completely submerged, and even belongings on second floors were ruined by water damage. There used to be a piece of glass here. We have glassware, furniture, and a wardrobe over there. I threw away all the upstairs furniture except the cabinets. Meanwhile, disaster response teams said that the flooding has presented nearly unprecedented challenges. The situation is awful. I have never encountered a more difficult situation. The important thing is that the river should not rise up again. If the rainfall in the mountains does make the river rise again, that would be troublesome. For cleanup work after the flood, there is still a lot to do, and we expect it will take a long time. Civil Protection Minister Nello Musumeci said some areas had received half their average annual rainfall, causing rivers to burst their banks, sending water cascading through towns and submerging thousands of acres of farmland. Sunday's Formula 1 Grand Prix in Imola, which is close to many of the worst-hit areas, was called off in an effort to relieve pressure on emergency services and prevent motor racing fans from converging on the inundated region. Due to the harsh weather conditions, floods, and landslides, the Italian government has requested international assistance in the form of high-capacity pumps, and Poland has offered such help. Polish firefighters are ready to go. We are waiting for the Italian government to accept the rescue offer, said Brigadier Karol Kieszkowski.
According to the border guard, 81 people tried to illegally enter Poland from the territory of Belarus yesterday. The detained immigrants were from Morocco, Nigeria, and India, among others. There was also a dangerous incident when border guard patrols were pelted with stones after preventing a group of 13 foreigners from attempting to enter Poland. Some of the individuals in the group were masked and carrying radio telephones. Such illegal migration is constantly supported by Belarusian services.
Near Białowieża, in the northeastern region of Poland, Polish patrols were pelted with stones and twigs after thwarting an attempt by a group of 13 foreigners to cross from Belarus into Poland. No one was injured. Since the beginning of the year, the border guard has recorded a total of about 10,000 attempts to illegally cross the border from Belarus into Poland. In March and April, there were about 2,500 such attempts each. In May, a total of about 2,000. The migrants came from more than 40 countries.
Thank you so much for joining us this evening. Please stay tuned for Poland Daily Weather, Poland Daily Business, and some of our other programs. But for me, have a wonderful evening.